Welcome. Welcome again. Welcome again to yet another beautiful day for our brand new series on entrepreneurship and business. Again, my name is Kato Mukasa on Think Better, Do Better, which is a program which is a channel for seriously entrepreneurship. Here we talk business, we don't talk politics. We talk business, we talk entrepreneurship because that's what we know, that's what we studied, that's what we're talking about. How to resurrect your business from failure. In your Bible, they talk about resurrection. So I'm using that word to bring the message home. We are talking about resurrection. We are talking about something dead, something on the brink of oblivion. A business is losing focus, a business is dying. How do you bring this business back? Now, my background is economics and commercial law. I'm both a lawyer and an economist. I've been a practitioner of entrepreneurship. I didn't only teach it, but I also practiced it by starting companies, by working with companies, by getting employed at one time, but also working with international NGOs. So with that experience, as a consultant, having consulted with the government of Uganda, Ministry of Gender, where I was a consultant on entrepreneurship, and I worked under the ministry leadership of Honorable Jessica Lupo, who is the current Vice President of Uganda. That was my boss in the Ministry of Gender, where I was a consultant economist, a consultant entrepreneurship under the National Youth Council, where I taught thousands of Ugandans how to start businesses, how to manage businesses, how to scale businesses. Having authored my debut book, How to Start That Business, in 2007. So I worked with the Ministry of Gender for quite a number of years as a consultant. So having done that, and of course having taught economics and entrepreneurship, of course, and having been into business myself, I think, and I'm capable and I'm very much ready to share with you what will make your business tick. Now, if you've been following our business talks, our entrepreneurship talks, you now realize that we mean business when we come on set. Now, listen, businesses fail. And sometimes it's not your mistake as the initiator. Remember, I told you that 60% of the businesses in the UK today do not go beyond 5 years. That is the statistics. You can Google it. Startups in the UK, 60% today, as I speak, do not go beyond 5 years. And in Africa, it's worse. 80% of the businesses in Africa don't see their first birthday. They fail as soon as they start. 80% of the startups in Africa, and in Uganda it's worse. Today's shop is beginning, tomorrow it's closing. Barely do they reach 5 years in existence. So now we are talking about business. How do we save a dying business? When I was in School of Economics, I was taught something about revamping businesses. When I was studying law and commercial law, I was taught more about saving a dying company. But also, I know what happens as a lawyer if I've been approached to liquidate a company. I know what it means. Some companies must be liquidated. Some companies become insolvent, and you can't save them. There is no way you can inject a dying or a dead animal. I'll begin with this story. I'm going to ask Dennis to show a photo of a petrol station. This is a story which has happened right today. That petrol station is called Lagman petrol station. It's based in Uganda. Now, my old boy, my brother, called Omajong Stephen, you can go on Facebook and search right today to see what I'm talking about. You can put in Omajong, O-M-O, Omajong Stephen, works with NSSF in Uganda, the National Social Security Fund, the biggest fund where you put all our monies. The guy who works there is my brother, is my OB, is my friend. So he posted today on Facebook that he drove to that petrol station to take fuel, and he gave the pump person, the man on the pump, 50,000 Uganda shillings, and he wanted petrol worth that, but the man ended up putting less fuel, or 15,000. So it means fuel of 35,000 was not put in the fuel tank. Now, when he was driving, he realized that basically his car was almost empty. There was no enough fuel because the gauge that indicates fuel was actually lower. He panicked. He knew someone had cheated him. But he had a meeting because he works with a very important body, NSSF in Uganda. So he had to continue on his journey. Now, when he finished his meeting, only to check his phone, there were missed calls. Then, later on, he was being called. I don't know how this guy actually got his number. Now, the manager of that petrol station called him and told him, we made a mistake. It appears you left your money here. For them, they thought that he had left his money there. Now, the pump attendant didn't take the money on purpose. The pump attendant took the money to the manager and said, this guy has gotten less petrol in the car. I've put in less and he has left his money. Who does that? Now, this guy was so surprised that these guys could call him and tell him, look, we have your money here because you took less petrol. Now, Omajong went on his page, Stephen Omajong, you can search it and see what I'm talking about, and posted. And because we are friends on Facebook, I saw it and I liked it and I commented and said, this is extraordinarily good. I'm going to talk about it in my next show. It happened today. You can just check it. Now, Lukman is a good example of a company with strong work ethics. Strong work ethics. If you are going to save your company, if I were in Uganda, I would be taking my fuel from that company. And when I asked Stephen Omajong, who are the guys running this company, he said, basically they are Somalis in Uganda. And for him, it was like, I wouldn't think Ugandans actually could do this. And these are Somalis, foreigners, of course they're Africans, but from Somalia, running the petrol business in Uganda. But look how honest these Somalis are. Admirable. Why wouldn't I want to do business with these Somalis in Uganda? If they can call me and tell me, look, you have left your money here. Now, even if this business was going to die off, look what I'm doing right now. I'm giving them publicity, which is going to stay for so many years. Look, all of us are talking about Lugman petrol station, how good they have ethical, principled workers. So to revive your company, develop an ethical culture. Number two, think long term. Number two, think long term. Don't think short term, especially in your hardest time. Do not think short term. Think long term. It means go back and find out, why did you start this company? Why? We are failing, yes. But why did we start this company in the first place? What was the reason why we started? Was it to make money? Was it to meet demands of the people? Was it to get a name? Was it to get satisfaction out of doing what we are doing? What is it Today, my brother in Kenya was asking me, wants to start a consultancy on IT. So he was asking me how to go about it. And I told him that what matters is you having passion. It's called Semakula Mkibi. You'll be watching this. Semakula Mkibi, my senior brother in Kenya, was asking me, wanted to consult me on how to start to get his dream from his head. And we are talking. And I told him, I'm going to talk about it online, but the most important thing is passion, passion, passion. Do not start a business because you want to make money out of it. Let money be a bonus. Start a business because you know it, because you understand it. Knowing and understanding are different, and because you love it. Because you can wake up on a Sunday and go do that work. Me, when I do something I love, I give it 110%. It means I give it my all. Even if it's failing, I will persist. There are businesses that have been really hard for me to manage, but because I loved them, I persisted. Example is part of Vocational Training College, where I put all I had, because my satisfaction was not getting profit from that vocation. My satisfaction was seeing many young women in my village learning how to become tailors, learning computer, learning how to make hairdressers, learning how to cook, be caterers, hotel managers, and today many of my students are in the Middle East, are in Turkey, are in Dubai, doing what we taught them to do. Now, that was my long-term vision. And the guys I was working with, that was our objective. Pearl Vocational Training College was not started for us to make profits, never. It is a company by shares which doesn't care about the profits. So not all businesses basically care so much about profits. It depends on the founder. What is it that you want to achieve? What is the long-term vision? I may close Pearl Vocational Training College today, but trust me, in 2 years' time, I will still open it because my vision, my love for it is permanent. Number 3, be customer-centric. Be customer-centric. Customer-centric means you must make the customers your boss. The customer. It's a simple thing to understand. You don't need to attain the training I got. You don't need to have 3 degrees like myself. You don't need these degrees. Basically, you can have these degrees when you remain stupid at the same time. You can be with a PhD, but you are still so stupid when it comes to business. That's why professors actually don't own companies. Many professors don't own buildings in our cities. They don't even know how to do business, but they are teaching economics, incidentally. So what type of professors are these? Who are so good at talking theories, but they have never owned a company, they have never run a business. That's why for me, such a professor is not for me. A professor must be like Mark of the Facebook, like Bezos Jeff, like Dangote in Africa, like Mulwana. Like those are the professors we can respect because they know how to run a business. They have the expertise. Now the customer is your king. Let it not be in words. Let it be in practice. I gave an example of Cavendish University that basically evaluate lecturers through students. How do you revive your education system? Your school is failing. Use students to evaluate teachers. The school will work. Use students to evaluate the catering department, the food. They tell you whether the food is good or the food is bad. Fire the cook. If the cook is hopeless, fire the cook the next day. Students are going to like it. When I was the head prefect of Blessed Sacrament Kimanya, students rioted because of poor feeding, and I led the rioting. and I was dismissed. Why? Because as a student leader, I had told the fathers, this is the Catholic school, I had told the church, I had told the priests that the food was bad and the teachers were missing classes. Now, they never listened to me. The students rioted, and what happened? They dismissed me almost indefinitely. They only allowed me to go back and sit exams. Why? Because I was their best student, and I end up getting their best first grade that year. But they dismissed me only to allow me to come and do exams. Why? Because they never wanted to listen to the customer. They were so conservative that the school was actually destroyed for many years until when it got new management that revamped it, and today it's one of the best schools in Uganda. But now, the point is, listen to the customer, improve basing on what the customer tells you. If this school of mine had listened to what I had reported, that the food was bad, that the teachers were missing class, that the teachers were so rude, there would have been a strike in which property was destroyed. Number 4, always look for ways to do new things. Be innovative. Point number 4. Rule number 4, be innovative. Now, you are going to learn not to play by the book. When I was growing up in the 1980s, there was something that was special from when you bought stuff from the Indians. I love the Indians. Up to now, I love Indians. I love Asians. And I love Muslims. Because Muslims do business in a different way in my country. They, in fact, involve their children from an early age, just like Indians. Now, when you went to buy stuff from the Indian shop, this Indian man would give us sweets as bonuses. Remember, I've gone to buy sugar, a kilogram of sugar, and this Indian man gets a sweet and gives me as a bonus. Now, just imagine the psychological effect of giving a child a sweet for free. It means that every other thing my mom told me to go to buy from the shop, I would go to the Indian shop. What happened was that you would find a line of people buying from the Indian, and other shops on the same building do not have clients, do not have customers. Innovativeness is the mother of success. Think, even through what you have, how do you innovate and do better? Number 5, be obsessed with data. Be obsessed with data. Obsession, be obsessed with data. You call it data. Some people call it data in the country where I am. Data, okay? Now, data is information. When I was in business school, we said that all that matters is data. In business, we are dealing with numbers. In fact, our lecturer told us, our lecturer of mathematical economics at Makerere, the first time the professor entered, told us that he was a student from Oxford. He was talking about Oxford highly as he was trained there. And then he said in his class, mathematical economics, 80% of the students are assured of failing because students fear data, students fear numbers. And he said that business is all about numbers. So all of us must learn mathematical economics. I tell you, I don't think I was so good in mathematics by that time, though I was actually in economics. But I had to double my effort to pass that paper because the guy had threatened us that 80% of the students actually fail mathematical economics. And that was true. About 60% of our class failed, never graduated from the School of Economics. Why? Because of mathematical economics. When I went to law school, again, another mathematics came in law. If you don't know that law actually has mathematics, I will tell you something. In law, there is a subject where you do math. Actually, you also do accounting. And many students were running away from it. And I said, I want that because I want to be a commercial lawyer. The same thing happens when I was studying for my bar to qualify as an advocate of the High Court of Uganda. Still, I found mathematics. So you must love to know the figures. Which type of manager doesn't know how to read financial statements? If you're a business owner, you don't even have a book where you show income and expenditure. As simple as that, simple accounting. I learned accounting in secondary school. I learned accounting at the university. How can you run a business without writing down your sales and your expenditure on a daily basis? Which type of business is that? Where you are in on guesswork, that business will fail. How will you pay your taxes if you don't know how much you earn? The taxman is simply going to guess. In all businesses I've worked in, we have used books of record. In fact, my grandfather was a bookkeeper, was an accountant. And whenever you would go to visit him, the first thing he would ask, my report, he would look for mathematics. Because he used to say, math is life. Don't fear figures. If you are doing with a business, look at the figures. Otherwise, this is where the workers steal from you. You don't do what we call stock taking. I'll be talking about stock taking in other trainings, in other videos. How do you evaluate your business on a daily? Be obsessed with data. Next, when you collect this data, use it. Use this data, the research from your customers. Look at the figures. Use this data to make informed decisions. Number 6, be willing to fail. Very interesting philosophy I'm forwarding here as a business coach. I'm telling you from today, be willing to fail. Very interesting. Let me explain to you. Failure is part of innovation. Do you know that? Failure is part of innovation. Some people are motivated by failure. In fact, me, I'm motivated by the fear of poverty. Whenever I think about a life where I'm going to beg, I don't want to beg for money. I should always say that. I find it very hard to beg people for money. In fact, I don't like it. Even doing a fundraiser, I find it so hard, even when I'm down. When I do a fundraiser, I must be so down, and it must be so important. Because I hate to fail in life, and because I hate begging people for money, I'd rather work for myself. Now, be willing to fail. When you fail, sales are not moving, workers are redundant, things are tough. When you are failing, use it as an opportunity to be better. Because the failure is a symptom that something is not going right. In fact, be happy when things are going wrong, because they are helping you to check you, to know that there is something wrong. When your stomach is paining, it means something is wrong. When your headache is paining, the stomach is complaining. Be willing to fail, but what's important? Learn from failure and avoid failing again. Once bitten, twice shy. Number 7, take calculated risks. Take calculated risks. Very important in business. Now, we all know risks, but I'm telling you, in business, risks actually are many. I can mention to you about 6 types of risks. Quite a number of risks in businesses, but I'm telling you, in summary, learn to take calculated risks. Life is a risk. Even sitting here, a bomb may fall on this building and I can die right now. A stray bullet can come from any angle and I can die right now. Life itself is a risk. Even eating food can choke you. Food can become your problem. In fact, many people become obese because they overeat and don't exercise. So anything can be a risk. Therefore, accept that we are going to take risks. That's why I invest my monies in securities. I invest my monies in bonds. Some little monies, of course. I'm talking about Uganda, where they announce they are selling some bonds, whatever it is, some securities, some shares in some of these companies, you buy because you don't even know whether the company is going to work. But you take calculated, measured risks. How? You consult the experts. Don't simply invest without consulting the experts. Consult. Ask what we call a mastermind. In my book, How to Start a Business, I talk about mastermind. This book is 2007, wrote in 2007, but I talk about a mastermind. And in my latest book, which Dennis will show you later, not now, Think Better, Do Good Better, I talk about mastermind. Number 7, Dennis, number 8, be a good communicator. Be a good communicator. Be a good communicator. If your business is failing, learn one important skill: communicate. Who do you communicate with? Communicate with your team. Everyone you work with. Once your business is failing, sit down with them, have a conversation, a tough conversation with them. But be realistic. Tell them we are getting under the bridge. We are going into our coffin. We are closing shop. What do we do? Communicate every stage of your failure. Don't allow your staff to be taken by surprise. In fact, they can sue you in law because you may have a contract with them. You cannot simply terminate them. So when you periodically call them and communicate what is happening, and then you look for solutions as a team, stakeholders, including creditors and debitors, talk with them, tell them things are not good, but we want to improve. Where do you think we went wrong? Ask them to give you their own honest opinion on what they think is wrong with your business. Communicate with them. And it gets that to number 9, be humble. Be humble. Rule number 9, be humble. Because no one is perfect. Then number 9 is be humble. If your business is failing, learn to be the most humble person. Have humility. Have respect, including the janitor. Talk even to the lowest of the lowest officer in your business. And if you are sorry, if you have made a mistake, say you are sorry and mean it. Don't simply say it to make people happy. Mean it. Ask for help. Never fear to ask for help. Never stop to ask for help. Anyone who is intelligent asks for help. Never stop asking for help. Be humble. Number 10, be a good listener. We talked about communication, humbleness. Now we talk about listening. Then it's number 10, listening. Be a good listener. Now, there is a difference between listening and hearing. Listening and hearing are different. I'm not saying be a good person at hearing. I'm saying be a good listener. Listen up. It goes back to communication. It goes back to consulting, to inquiry. Sit with everyone you work with and open up. Let them talk with you. In the UK, the TVs are showing a program called The Undercover Boss. There's also another program where we have a guy who is a specialized cook, goes into restaurants and revamps them, goes into restaurants, eats there, and tells them, look, this food is rubbish. You are going to close shop. You have to change everything. They end up changing everything. So you are going to learn to listen, to take criticisms in a positive way. All of us make mistakes. None of us is perfect. I'm not perfect either. We make mistakes. Learn to listen and take in positive criticisms fairly. Number 11, be ethical. Of course, that was our number 1. But let us make it number 11. Be kind. Be kind. Number 11 is be kind. Number 11 is be kind. Be kind. For us in Africa, our philosophy is called Ubuntu. Ubuntu is important. When your business is failing, remember what our ancestors said and do what they would do in the hardest situation. Ubuntu means I am because you are. Some people call it humanism, but it's not exactly the same. But something near to that, because humanism has been corrupted so much. Now, be kind. But how do you be kind? You first be kind to yourself. The moment you start taking the heat on your head, you run mad, because you blame yourself and get paralyzed in your analysis. Analysis of paralysis. You get paralyzed in your analysis. You blame yourself. You don't sleep. You get stressed. Be gentle to yourself first. Forgive yourself. No, yes, I made mistakes. The business is going under the bridge, but I'm a human. The most important thing is, what do I do now, than blaming myself and everyone else. Don't blame everyone else for your problems. Where were you when the business was going under the carpet? When your friends were destroying everything? When you are not looking at the books, not looking at the data I've talked about? Be kind to your employees. Treat them with dignity. Be kind to your customers with respect. If you are in a restaurant and you are serving bad food, definitely the business is going to close. You are a school owner. You are abusing students and parents. You are cheating them. You are not teaching students. Definitely the business is going to fail. The teachers are not are poorly paid. You don't pay your staff on time. What do you expect? Number 12. Number 12, have fun. Have fun. Very interesting. We are talking about resurrecting a business that is dying, and we are talking about have fun. I'll explain that. Then number 12 is have fun. Have fun. Interesting philosophy. I told you, if you don't know my philosophy, my background, I love philosophy. So my business models are modeled alongside philosophy. That's why I'm different. You're going to find what I'm telling you in other people's books, but this is what I write in my book. And I'm saying, have fun. The business is failing, yes, have fun. Why do you have fun? Now it means don't cry. Don't sulk. Don't enter the office, the workshop, the shop, everywhere you are working, so gloomy, so tough, so sweating, so what? You'll burst and die in your own movie. You'll die in your own movie. So how do you save a bad situation from getting worse? By putting a smile if you can. Even if you cannot, in the worst moment, keep positivity. Keep hope alive. I beg of you this. Keep hope alive. Have fun. Your enemies will be surprised by the way you carry yourself. The guy is going under, but he's smiling. Because the man inside you, the woman inside you is not yet broken. The attitude, the brain, that's why the title of my book is Think Better. You think better by thinking positive, by having fun in the hardest moment of your life. And when you radiate fun and happiness, talking about happiness, happiness is contagious. Happiness is like a flu, like coronavirus. It affects everyone it touches. Enter the office, we are going under, but we're smiling a bit. What does that do to the rest of the team? It inspires them. They get inspired, they get their morale, they think they can do it. You fire them up. You fire them up. They wake up and say, if the boss thinks it can be done, it can be done. Have fun at the lowest point in your life. Show a smile, radiant happiness, because happiness begets happiness. Enjoy the people you are working with. Show them that everything is positive and everything is possible. You can get your business out of the grave. Show them that things are possible, but also try to do everything possible by doing everything in the right way. Lastly, as a bonus, learn to work smart. If your business is failing, the advice is learn to work smart. If you have been working hard alone, learn to work smart. Working smart means what? Changing things from the normal to the abnormal. You work smart means you are going to employ people who are wiser than you. You are going to listen. You are going to develop new systems. You are going to use technology. You are going to have fun at work, employ less energy, but get more results. I should tell you this. The most rich people in the world don't work too hard. In fact, they don't break a sweat. The most rich people in the world don't work so hard. The most hardworking people in the world are in Africa. They wake up at 4 in the morning and go bed beyond midnight. Interestingly, they are the most poor. So working so hard doesn't exactly mean winning in life. Working smarter, knowing what to do, knowing how to make money work for you, knowing where the problem is and fixing it, providing solutions to the problems facing society makes you money. My name is Kato Mukasa. Remember, I'm an economist, but also an international commercial lawyer who is obsessed with business and entrepreneurship. See you in the next one. Stay better, be better, do good better.